Is everybody in? Is everybody in? The show is about to begin.
Welcome to the podcast, concerts that made us, interviews and stories, tales from the bus. We love taking you back to when it all went down. The greatest live shows and the cheering crowd sound. It's concerts that made us, concertsthatmadeus.com.
Hey, you're listening to Jamie, Chuck, and Jason from Jasper Dan. You're listening to the concerts that made us.
Another look inside. Mama Voodoo, hold me kindly. Roll down rivers, gentle water. Wash away the mortal sin. Roll down rivers, gentle water. Roll away. You gotta roll away and roll.
Chuck, Jason, and Jamie, you're very welcome to Concerts That Made Us.
Hi, Brian. How you doing, my man?
Thanks for having us.
How you going, Brian? What's happening?
It's great to have you guys now. I'm glad you're here. Now, first and foremost, Jasper Dan recently dropped the absolute banger, Mama Voodoo. Take us deeper into the track if you can.
Well, thank you for calling it a banger. We were quite proud of it. Definitely, it's I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, we're very, very proud of it. But I think Jamie will be able to really sort of go down the rabbit hole with where the song sort
I
of
think,
comes from and the inspiration comes from.
The music, well, the main riff of the song was actually written towards the end of the COVID-19 lockdown, which here in South Africa we seem to have a lot more stringent regulations for a lot longer than anyone else did, and we were sort of locked down from public interaction for a hell of a long time, and that stuck our mate Chuck almost over the edge. And I think that main riff is sort of the culmination of a lot of frustration of being locked away and not being able to get out enough. And from there, when we got together after we'd been locked down, we got together and we put all the music together, and then I sort of wrote the lyrics, and it sort of at the time, it just sort of all fell into place with this whole voodoo mystical journey, whether it's drug related or whatever. I mean, it was that sort of journey theme that really sort of came to the fore when I was thinking about it. And one of the things that I was really thinking about at the time was, it's just we find it absolutely fascinating that before cultures were introduced to each other, Brian, you had voodoo in the southern states, New Orleans. You had hoodoo in Africa. You had different things in the Far East. Years and years ago in Europe and in Ireland, you've always had these things, the tarot cards and crystal ball readings and all that kind of shit. And really all it's all about is escapism, isn't it? I mean, it's just getting away from where you are right now. And you go down to the Amazon and you've got all sorts of other different things. It was kind of difficult to put lick the back of a frog into the lyrics. So we didn't quite get that one, but
he tried. He tried. He really tried.
We tried
Next time, huh?
But, that was just the whole sort of thought process behind the lyrics, and it actually, once we started getting into it, I think it came out kind of cool.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to a song now where you actually do put lick the back of the frog into the lyrics. You have to do it.
For you, we'll try.
Thank you.
This is the love song. But, when you get back together with the one and only, she's the one, and you came to that realization one day sitting at the lake, and you licked the back of the frog, and you realize, damn, I love this woman.
Well, if you kiss a frog and you get a prince, I'd hate to know what happens when you lick the back of
my ex.
What? Oh my God. Was there any challenges or memorable moments during recording and production then? From what I've seen so far in this interview, I'd imagine there was a lot of memorable moments.
Yeah. I think sure. Yeah, where do we start, Jamie? I mean, sure, it started with a lockdown riff. We couldn't fit frog licking into the lyrics, so it went another direction. But I think the memorable part was the recording.
Yeah,
that was
what actually happened. I think because of the lockdown, and in the way that everyone was sort of reintroduced to each other after the lockdown, things started opening up again. And then, studios. I mean, Robin Walsh. We recorded with Robin Walsh at Assegai Studios here in Johannesburg. I mean, he's an exceptional engineer and he's very, very much in demand. So, he had a bit of a backlog. So by the time we got into the studio, we'd rehearsed the song quite a bit. We'd sort of gone through it a hell of a lot. So by the time we went to studio, what we actually decided to do when we got to studio was, instead of tracking all the instruments individually, we decided to go a bit old school with it. And then we all got into the same recording room, and we just played it through a couple of times, like real sort of old school, how they used to record in the 70s and shit. And then I think we did a couple of overs on the vocals only. just to get that variation on the vocal. But that was really, really cool. And we didn't really change too much. I think we changed 1 or 2 lyrics, which I always do at the last minute. So it was just a really, really cool way to do things, because we are quite used to sort of going in, breaking everything down, and rebuilding it back up and tracking individually. So
yeah,
it was
look,
a bit of a test for
quickly.
us, if I can say that. It was a bit of a test for us, because to go and do that, you kind of got to have your shit together.
Well, look, that's what I wanted to add to it. I mean, Robin Walsh, who helped produce the song and recorded the song, is a extremely sort of accomplished producer, and very, very professional, utmost professional. He's got an amazing studio. So, when you go in there, it's quite intimidating, because you want to go in and do your best. And I don't know how much you know about recording, Brian, but, a lot of the time, most of the time, you go in and you multi-track a band, the drums will get laid down. You do a scratch track of the song, then the drums will go in and do their part, and then the bass. And so you build a song, you build it until, everybody's things have been taken individually, and it kind of gets put together and mixed and mastered. And what we did this was, as Jamie said, was that we took a very sort of, I'd say, 70s recording process, and we were all in the same room, and we did it live. And it's very intimidating, especially with someone like Robin. You want to, obviously do your best, but you also, because he's such a professional. But in that, it's actually, I think, brings out the best in us as well. So, we're very proud of being able to pull it off live, number one. I think it's quite a task to be able to do that and not take 5 days to do it. We did it in a day.
Right.
And it was a hell of an experience to work with someone like that and to get it right. Getting it right was a big part of the pride that comes with when you listen back to it, because it really captures that sort of moment in it. When you multi-track, you try your best to capture things, and that's what good producers and sound guys can do. But I think, we definitely got something and gained something by doing it live in the room together. We definitely captured something, which I think you can hear in the sort of energy and the sort of, I would say, rawness in brackets of the song.
Absolutely.
I want to make a correction there in defense of our capabilities. We've never taken 5 fucking days to do a song.
No, never.
Thanks.
Are you sure now? He's not letting the cat out of the bag.
3 takes, Barrett. 3 takes, Chuck.
It's so weird though, because the last couple of interviews I've done, people have mentioned that they've actually recorded that way as opposed to the more traditional way. Do you think that's a way of recording that's going to make a comeback, and everybody will be recording that way?
Man,
yes and no. I would say, I don't know, Jamie, what your thoughts are. I'll just quickly say that I think, with the advent of home studios and, being able to track, I think it becomes, one person becomes a multi-instrumentalist, and, the only mechanism they have is to multi-track things. I think, it's getting more and more sort of rare where you can get a whole band together. Yes, there are guys that do it, but I think it's with the increase of people doing it from their houses, that the big band, big studio vibe might be something that doesn't happen as frequently.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with it. I think you can definitely hear, when you hear a song that's come out of a big studio, you can definitely hear the infrastructure behind it. And you need that infrastructure in order to get that final delivery. I think I think one of the reasons that people are going back to recording that way, one of the main reasons that people are going back to recording that way, is it cuts down on a lot of studio time. And I think no matter where you are in the world, studio time is fucking expensive, man. It's expensive to be in studio, a couple of days in the studio costs you a fortune. So if you can get in, and that's one of the things we do, everyone has to really rehearse their parts before we go in, because you really, when you're playing on a time, when you're playing on the clock, it can run away with you, man, and it can cost you an absolute fortune. So yeah, I think people are going back to cutting costs. And then once you do, for those of the guys that manage to sign themselves to a label, then I think going back to the The individual tracking is where it comes, where someone else is paying for it.
It's a good way to look
fair
at
enough.
it, I bet. Yeah, yeah. Now, before we move on to some concert questions, it is concerts that made us after all. I want to talk about your sound. You know, if someone listened to you guys but had no other information about you guys, they would think you're from like the deep south in the States. Where does this sound come from?
I think it's just
All in them voices.
it comes from our influences, really, man. And I think one of the things the four of us, really, really like, and one of the things that we sort of strive for is that tone. It's the tone, man. It's overdriven Gibson Les Paul guitars through a Marshall amp, a bit of fuzz on the bass, big drums, and just very, very basic raw vocals just going through a microphone with almost no effect pedals on them at all, and that's the tone we really, really go for. And it's quite interesting because I think if you take us individually, you've probably got, a Southern rock fan, a country music fan, a 1970s funk fan, and an industrial death metal fan within the band. And so I think that sort of fusion also sort of brings these things to the fore. But I think, definitely big influences from the stalwarts of Southern rock, the Skinners, the band, all those kind of guys. I mean, that was what we grew up on. Yeah.
I gotcha.
Well, also, sorry, just to add there quickly, Brian, sorry to interrupt, but, we also, sort of one of our sort of philosophies when doing recording, whether multi-tracking or single tracks as we've done, we always try and keep it raw, well, not raw, but, something you can play live. It's not overproduced in the sense of overproduced where, you sit and you've got all these different things happening on a single or, on a song, and then you can't do it live. Because we're a live band. We love playing live and we, energetic shows, but you've got to be able to translate from a recording over into a live show. So we always have that in mind, play big songs and, be able to play them live.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than hearing a band and saying, geez, I want to see them. And then you make a mission to go out and see them live. And, it's like nothing like what it comes across with. So it's definitely we always try and emulate.
Very true. Very true. Now, the concert questions. I'll start you off easy. As a concert goer, what concerts would you say have made you guys?
Sorry, we're thinking. There are so many concerts. Jason, do you want to start, bro? Sorry,
I was just about to say, it's probably not a difficult question because we don't get a hell of a lot of artists come to South Africa. We're a hell of a
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, Jay, do you want to jump in? I mean, I've got a couple.
Yeah, I mean, the first proper concert I went to was, believe it or not, Iron Maiden in 1990. When was it? 1995.
95. It was the night before my birthday.
Yeah, it was the Blaze Bailey was still the singer then, and yeah, I was a kid still. But that was probably the first major concert I went to besides the same year, which was like the Nude Girls and Springbok Nude Girls and Lithium and all those guys, Squeal and all of them. Yeah, that's kind of what started because we don't get many concerts here. Internationals, well, we didn't back in those days. Nowadays, probably the floodgates have opened a bit.
Yeah, I think everyone's quite intrigued to come in.
Look, I think from my side, the first real big sort of life-changing concert for me was, Metallica coming to South Africa for the first time. We had this festival and there's a whole bunch of international acts all slated for the day. And I mean, the bands of the time, it was Erasmus and Simple Plan and Collective Soul. And Metallica, being, also, I think we all got reared on Metallica, not trying to give away my age here, but it was, being in South Africa. And, there've been some international artists, but it was more, more the older sort of artists that were coming through. And when Metallica came, it was life-changing for me. It was like, oh my God, I think they ran out of beer and Coke and everything at the, by like before the sun went down. And
that was the Joburg show.
Is that the
Yeah,
show?
no,
Is that
it
the
was
show with Smashing
mental.
Pumpkins?
Yeah, no, yeah, Smashing Pumpkins came before that as well. They came through. I mean, I never got to watch the Smashing Pumpkins show, unfortunately. I was very bleak about that. I was writing a matric final exam. but Metallica for me, when they came through, the first time I saw them live was amazing. I have seen them since
actually,
again.
I saw Metallica in Durban, that same concert, but I left. I ran away like on their, I think, third to last song because I wanted to go see Fatboy Slim on the other side of the festival and be right in front.
I'm gonna be that dude, man. I'm gonna be that guy that pisses everyone off and lets everyone down. I saw Nickelback
Yes,
At-
yes.
at the height of Nickelback hatred. I saw Nickelback in Dubai, and I was like,
How good are they live, really?
why does everyone hate these guys? They're not that
Yeah,
bad.
exactly.
They're comedian. But that show for me, I think it was just Nickelback, and it was just everyone was against Nickelback at the time. And I saw them, and I was like, actually, you know what? Fuck, I could do that. I probably couldn't, but it was that show where I was like, fuck, I'd love to do that.
Yeah, look, I've heard it's a pro outfit, bro. They put on proper flipping, they're a real deal, bro.
I actually seen them back in 2008 or 2009, around that time, and I had the exact same thought. I don't know why people hate them, because they were, it was just like going to see Metallica or any other heavy rock band.
Yeah, no, they're huge, man. They're like, when I say huge, I mean they're a big band on stage. They're a they're a force, and they're fucking cool.
Yeah, very true, very true. Now, for any listeners that haven't caught one of your shows, what can they expect? Give us the full experience if you can.
So just so one of the things that's quite cool is we in getting the band to the state it's in at the moment, we went through a couple of band changes with members, and the long story short is in the beginning we used to have people in for auditions. We didn't really know them, but after a couple of years I decided with Paul, who was a founding member of the band, that we would actually handpick the guys that we wanted to be in the band. And we'd started to get to know everyone around. So long story short, myself, Mark, Chuck and Jason were actually like four best mates. So, we watched rugby together. I wasn't going to bring that up, but 1-1's okay, right? We watch rugby together. We bride together. We go to the pub together. After work drinks, we fucking meet up together. We rehearse together. We're a bit of a drinking club that sometimes plays music. So
Yes. Write that down.
when we do get on stage, I mean, it's just like the four best mates having the fucking time of their lives. And I think for a lot of people that becomes quite infectious. A lot of people have come up to us and said, how do you get anything done? You just look like you're having the best time ever. And it really is like that. We're very lucky. Well, I say we're lucky, but we've engineered it that way. So a lot of fun, a lot of energy, and a lot of Jack Daniels, man. We've made it a mission of the band. We've handed out a bottle of Jack Daniels to the crowd at every single show we played, no matter how big, how small, how old, or how young the audience is. We've handed out a bottle of single barrel. Well, not a single barrel, sorry, man. We've handed out a bottle of Jack Daniels at every single show we played. And we just find that gets the party going. And we're probably not as big as Nickelback, but we're a big band. I mean, we're a loud band. We have to turn down a lot of shows because of venues, neighbors, and the rest of it. It's because, man, we're loud as fuck and we love it.
We're a big ass rock band, man.
I like it. Back to the comment about handing out a bottle of Jack Daniels at every gig you play. You don't play kids' parties, do you?
We do.
The funny story.
But then we always pick a parent,
Right.
and then we hand it to him, and then as soon as he's got his hand on it, we pull it back, and then we drink that bottle ourselves.
Right.
We actually played at school recently, which is quite interesting because it's a bunch of kids. You can't obviously hand out Jack Daniels, and then also the songs. Some of our songs and the lyrics, aren't necessarily conducive to a day of running around doing athletics or whatever it is. So it was a lot of fun. Jamie had to improvise lyrics on the fly while we're playing our songs to kind of make them a bit more PG.
Yeah, PG-13 probably is what.
We basically you're going to hear a bunch of songs at our shows. We write songs about drinking, drugs, V8s, hot rods, motorcycles, and women.
All the best stuff.
And voodoo.
Yeah. Well, voodoo woman.
When it comes to your fans, the audience, do you guys have any memorable interactions that kind of stick in your mind? Anything meaningful?
I've got one, and I reminded myself of this the other day. We played in a place. They weren't fans. It was just a crowd. It was an audience. It was out of town. It was in a place called Potchefstroom, and it was miles away. I think you were there that night, man, with the Sinners.
With the Sinners, yeah, I was there.
We played in a place called the Texas Saloon, and the place is full of students, man. It's a student town. It was the first time we'd been there. We didn't really know anyone. We didn't know, what was coming. And we sang. We had a couple of covers just to sort of, because we didn't know anyone. We had, and Kings of Leon were quite popular at the time. We did Sex on Fire. And the minute we hit the chorus, every man or student man, male student in the venue stood up on a table and dropped his shorts. Every fucking one of them. And we found out afterwards, after the show, we sort of, we had a drink and we were like, listen, boys, what the fuck was that all about? And they were like, no, it's a tradition from our university residents. And through the rugby, all the guys that play rugby, which is everyone in that town, it's a tradition whenever they play Sex on Fire, they have to get up and drop their keys. And that's what they did. But we didn't know about it. And I remember sort of hitting the chorus and then sort of opening my eyes and being like, what the fuck is going on?
It's a weird way to salute a band for playing well.
No.
Well, I hope they just saluted with the pants down and nothing else up.
I thought we were Nickelback.
Oh, man. And in the past, you guys have opened for Iron Maiden and you've played some pretty prestigious shows in South Africa. Is there a gig you've done that kind of sits above the rest? It couldn't have gone any better.
Yeah. I think, to answer this, it would be good for us just to park the Iron Maiden thing at the side because, the Iron Maiden show, we played in front of 30,000 people. I mean, it's just that experience is bar none, it's just, it's mind blowing. So we just park there and then we look at Jasper Dan shows where we don't normally get 30,000 people. I think we did a show and it's quite cool actually. We actually recorded it. We played a show in the Radium Beer Hall. It's the oldest beer hall in Johannesburg. It's 94 years old this year. And we had the show planned and everything, and just sort of in sort of the week running up to the show, I got in touch with a guy through a mutual friend, and he was doing a lot of recording work, video recording. And we decided sort of last minute we're going to record the show. And we record the show at Radium Beer Hall. It wasn't, the Radium Beer Hall's small. We had about 100 people in, which is probably 20 people over capacity for the Radium. But, that show, Brian, it was just nothing went wrong. The audience on the night was fantastic. The beers were cold. Everyone... I don't think we put a foot wrong that night, and even if we did, it sounded good. And fortunately, we were able to capture all that. So we've recorded a song called Hurricane, which is it's a cover of an old Levon Helm song from 1970. and that's available on YouTube, and it's from that show. So yeah, it was a cool night, man.
Well, this one will be interesting. Is there a gig that you would consider the worst gig? Everything went wrong, and how did you guys overcome it?
Sorry, can we go back to the previous question? I changed my mind.
Right, okay.
We were the first band ever to play in the Lollipop Lounge.
Well, what is the Lollipop Lounge, Jamie?
The Lollipop Lounge is an institutional strip club in Johannesburg.
Right.
And and the lady who owned the strip club, she has like a talk. She does a show, a talk, and it's just a show. And we met her, and I said, look, I want to play in the Lollipop Lounge. And she said, do you mind doing a double bill with me? So I'll do my show, and then you can play afterwards. And that was an amazing night. That was amazing. Just the fact that we were the first ones to do it, the fact that we were in there, the fact that we were in there with our mates who we were normally in there with, but also with their wives, and everyone was kind of acting like they'd never been in there before. Was fucking. and then
I've never been in there before, baby. I love you if you're listening.
Yeah. And then I sort of had this thing in my mind, and then at one point I said, we've got 3 songs left, and I said, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the ladies of the Lollipop Lounge, and all the strippers walked in. It like when you say when everything went according to key. That was perfect, man, and it was amazing. What was the next question? The worst gig ever?
Yeah, I just want to ask, do you have that show on YouTube?
No.
Right.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Hey, we'll talk after the show. I took a bit of bootleg footage.
Okay.
I think you couldn't hear anything anyway. The Marshall stack was way too loud.
It was definitely that show. It was definitely that show. We had a previous member who had purchased some new equipment and was just so excited about the fact that he purchased this new equipment. And then I'm trying to keep it so that he doesn't know it's him, but he does know it because I think it was the first and the only time that a couple of us actually just lost our shit on stage. We're just like, I'm not fucking doing this anymore. Yeah. So a 200 watt Marshall amplifier for 40 people is not the right piece of gear.
I wouldn't think so.
Especially when I'm playing on a cajon.
How are your hands after that?
Bruised for 2 weeks.
Yeah, you see. So how did you overcome it? I don't think that's one that got overcome, hey?
No,
we've overcome it.
Yeah, we've overcome it since, but yeah.
Right. Okay. Interesting. When it comes to showtime, then what's your guys' pre-show and post-show? How do you psych yourselves up? Then afterwards, how do you wind down?
Jack Daniels and Jack Daniels.
I like it.
Yeah, I think it's also we've got quite a loyal fan base. So when we play some of the smaller shows or one of the shows at our bar, we what psychs us up is hanging out with our friends that have come to see us, and when we're done, doing the same thing, winding down with them over some Jack Daniels or some tequila or whatever. But I think that plays a big part.
I think as a band, we love interacting with people that have come out. I mean, we're all there for the same reason. I mean, we're playing, but they're there because they enjoy, live music in a live show, and we love that interaction. So we do spend a lot of time. We generally try and get to show a couple of hours before, so that we can hang out with people who've come to see us and have a chit chat and all the rest of it. Then normally about 40 minutes or half an hour before we go on, we all get together just the band, and we'll get together in a quiet corner and we'll just have a beer together and just a sort of calm before the storm chat, run through the set list, all those kind of things, and then we go on stage. Winding down, fuck man, that doesn't normally happen for at least Sunday.
Monday. Sunday, the continuation of the previous day. Monday is when it really hits a person.
Right.
Yeah,
I like
we
it.
still, Brian, we still drink I mean, listen, I've got cousins and family. I've got a lot of family in the UK. And one thing that we do here that you guys don't do a hell of a lot of is drink shots. I mean, I know when I've been with my cousins, we have a couple, but it's not on the level that it is here. And I think it's just, the cost of a tequila here is really, really cheap in the grand scheme of things. So generally what happens after a show, quite often you'll just get a couple of trays full of tequila from people that have been watching. And then you've got to make your way through that. Normally about half an hour after that, you're not fucking interested in winding down at all.
Yeah. I've got to come to South Africa and be a musician, so all that free tequila.
Man.
You're welcome.
You're welcome anytime.
Oh man. Before we dive into the last couple of questions then, future plans set in stone, more music, gigs, anything you can tell us about?
Set in stone. We've released a couple of singles over the last few years. We've got studio time booked at the end of this month, well in August. We've got 3 or 4 songs that we need to, we've got 2 or 3 that are pretty much complete and 1 or 2 that just need a little bit more work. So what we want to do, we want to get in there, finish those sort of 4 or 5 songs up with the intention of, early in the next year, release our second full-length album. So that's really, really set in stone. We've got a couple of cool gigs we want to do towards the end of this year. We've got quite a small scene here, so one of the things we have to try to do is be quite creative with the things that we do. So we try and do different things. I said to you, we were the first band to play in that strip club. We were looking potentially at renting a barge on a dam and getting people out for the day. We've got a couple of really cool gigs that we can't really mention at the moment, but those are sort of lined up for the end of the year. Things that aren't cast in stone, we really, really want to we really want to try and get out your way, man. Not necessarily Waterford, because it's quite quiet, but definitely to the UK, to Britain and Ireland. Like I said, it's not as difficult for us. We've got a lot of family over there. I know Funk's has got family there. I've got a hell of a lot of family there, and a lot of friends. We've got a lot of friends from South Africa that have emigrated there as well. So, the UK would be. It wouldn't be easy, but what I'm saying is it would be an easy one for us to do because we've got a base there already. But definitely, I'd love to. South Africa is such a big country, man, and one of the things that we've picked up over the last few years is traveling around South Africa, Durban, Cape Town, and other gigs sort of in outlying areas. Our music's been exceptionally well accepted by the people that come to our shows, which is fantastic. And just to get that reaction from people is so infectious, man. It's the best feeling in the world, and I'd love to test it. Or we as a band would love to test it outside of South Africa as well, and just see if what the reaction is to what we do.
Oh man, that'd be epic. Now, you guys, you would be loved over here. I could see it now. There'd be no shortage of gigs or people at the gigs anyway.
Yeah,
it'd be a hell of a time.
Yeah, we'd love that, man. I think we'd probably have to bring our Jack Daniels with us from here, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. Right, the last couple of questions. There are a couple of fun random ones, but I'm looking forward to your answers. First off, besides music and the band, what are you guys currently obsessed with?
Oh no, you've asked the question. So I have to.
Well, obsession's a strong word.
Mine is photography, especially taking pictures of my dick.
Right.
Sorry. I've been waiting for someone to ask a question like this for months. It's in the barrel, waiting to go, bro. I
You're welcome.
apologize to all the listeners.
Oh God.
I think individually we all have our hobbies outside of hanging out with each other and drinking. I collect Jack Daniel, so I'm quite involved in that. I have a fairly nice collection, and I've got a family as well, so I spend a lot of time with my kids. Chuck spends a lot of time with other women's kids, and and Jay, I think Funk's
D&D, the gamer, man.
Yeah, Funks does D&D and gaming. I do cooking, psytrance, and industrial death metal.
Right. Okay. Interesting mix there. The next one. It's a bit odd. If you had to spend 24 hours locked in a room with any musician from history, who would it be?
Shania Twain.
I don't even have to ask why.
You don't.
Jimmy, you disappoint me. I thought it would have been Tina Turner.
I don't know, man. I think Shania.
Two people then, Jamie. Two people.
Fine, Sheryl Crow.
So can we just get all the country ladies and all the divas around to Jamie, please? I think that's the answer to that.
I think my real answer would be, at the moment, it's a tough one. Eric Church.
All right.
I just love to talk shit with that dude, man.
It's a good one.
Chuck?
Yeah, look, I was going to say Chris Stapleton for me. Hey, I found Chris Stapleton a couple of years back, and I really have become obsessed ever since. And I think, not to make it too serious, but he seems to be, just if you listen to the songs, he's an amazing musician and songwriter. And I think I would love to just sit and whack lyrical or someone like that. Hey,
pretty cool as well. And Jason?
Mine's a bit offbeat. Oystein Aarseth, who was otherwise known as Euronymous. He sort of started the whole Norwegian black metal movement. I would have liked to hear some of his thoughts. In this
maybe after 24 hours you could speak the same language.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Norwegians speak better English than Americans, on average.
And the final one. What's your go-to album? An album you constantly revisit?
That's such a hard question.
Seventh Son for me. Definitely Seventh Son of a Seventh Son.
Yeah.
The what? Album?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go-to album?
Yeah.
Down Nola.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
Me, Down Nola. Chuck?
Oh, bro, I'm having sweats here, bro. There's so many good albums out there, bro. I flipping. I mean, I'm not going to overthink it, man. I was severely, deeply sort of influenced by Appetite for Destruction, man. Guns N' Roses. I think it's always one of those albums that's pretty much all hits, all killer, no filler.
Absolutely.
You put it on in your karaoke all night long.
Well, I mean, I can karaoke anything you want me to, bro.
Yeah.
But that other people want to hear it.
Listen, guys, I can't describe how fun this one has been now. It's been an absolute blast. Thanks very much.
All right, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Listen, man,
Thanks for having us, man.
Thanks for your time, man. And I hope, I really do, man. I think we'd love to have a beer with you sometime, face to face, whether it's here or there. You're always welcome here, man.
grew up, we were living for the nightlife. We were riding by the day, born by the book of the old school. Don't be taking me for no fool. I'm a king out of the road. I'll be as crooked as you know. I'm a king. I'm as crooked as you know. I'm a simple man, no crazy to behold. I'm a lifer. I'm living life behind these bars. What I'm living for, life of a brother. But you get to choose the man, the ones that stand beside you, right on with you to the end. Grown by the book of values, standing side by side, you'll see this army of my brothers, and they're all crooked kings like me. I'm a king, I'm as crooked as you know. I'm a simple man, no treasure to behold. I'm a lifer, living life behind these bars. What I'm living for, life for the brother.
Hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. And if you're interested in signing up the Band Builder Academy, use the link in the show notes below and enter the code CONCERTS and you'll receive 10% off. So, until next time, keep rocking.
Hey, what are you guys still doing here? The show's over. It's over. You can go home. Go on. We'll see you next time. We'll be here. Bye.